Most isekai stories throw the protagonist into a fantasy world with magic, dragons, and overpowered abilities. But what happens when you take someone from modern Japan and drop them straight into the Sengoku era, one of the bloodiest and harshest periods of Japanese history? That's exactly the premise of Sengoku Komachi Kurōtan, also known as A Tale of a Small Town Hardship in the Sengoku Era. It's not about swordsmen or samurai glory, it's about survival, farming, and how a single person's knowledge can change the fate of a struggling village. Our main character is Shizuko, a regular high school girl with one big passion: agriculture. She's not a fighter, she's not a genius strategist, she loves farming. One day, she's suddenly transported back in time to the Sengoku era, around 1565, right in the middle of Japan's warring state period. It's a brutal time when daimyos and samurais were constantly fighting for land and power, and ordinary villagers suffered the consequences: famine, poverty, and endless war. Unlike typical isekai, there's no cheat power here. Shizuku doesn't get magic, she doesn't get combat skills. What she does have is her modern knowledge of farming, food preservation, and tools. And in a time when starvation was often deadlier than swords, that knowledge is life-changing. Not long after arriving, Shizuko encounters one of the most legendary figures in Japanese history, Oda Nobunaga, known as the Demon King of the Sixth Heaven. Nobunaga is ruthless, ambitious, and one of the most feared warlords of the Sengoku era. At first, he's suspicious of her, but when he sees her innovative farming techniques, things like crop rotation, better irrigation, and improved tools, he realizes her knowledge is valuable. Instead of discarding her, Nobunaga appoints Shizuko as overseer of a small struggling village. This is where the story begins, not on the battlefield but in the rice fields. Life in Sengoku Japan was harsh. Villagers lived with constant fear, bandits, famine, high taxes, or being drafted into armies. For Shizuko, every day is about helping the people survive. She introduces crop diversity so they aren't dependent on just rice. She teaches them how to make compost fertilizers to improve yield. She even shows ways to preserve food longer, like drying and storing, so famine is less likely to wipe them out. What's amazing about this manga is that it takes real historical farming techniques and blends them with the storytelling. You actually learn about agriculture in Sengoku period while watching Shizuko transform a hopeless village into a thriving community. But of course, success brings problems. The village draws attention, not just from Nobunaga, but from rival warlords, greedy officials, and even jealous samurais who don't understand how a mere girl could achieve so much. So why should you care about Sengoku Komachi Kurōtan? First, it flips the isekai formula. There's no overpowered hero, no magic spells, no destiny of saving this world. Shizuko's fight is against starvation, ignorance, and the unforgiving realities of the Sengoku era. Second, it shines a light on the people who usually get ignored in historical stories, the common villagers. Samurai and warlords dominate history books, but everyday people are the ones who actually carried the weight of survival. Third, the manga balances education and drama. You genuinely learn about Japanese agriculture and Sengoku politics, but it never feels like a textbook. It's survival drama with real stakes. And lastly, Shizuko herself. She's not perfect, she makes mistakes, but her kindness, determination, and belief that even in war people deserve dignity make her one of the most grounded isekai protagonists in manga today. In the end, A Tale of Small Town Hardship in the Sengoku era isn't just about farming, it's about resilience. It asks, what does it really take to survive when the world is against you? And it shows that sometimes knowledge and compassion can be more powerful than swords and armies. If you're tired of cookie-cutter isekais, or if you love grounded historical stories like Vinland Saga or Kingdom, this is a manga you should absolutely check out. So what do you think? Would you survive if you were thrown in the Sengoku era with only modern knowledge? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for more manga deep dives.